Tanako, it's Lofa, and good morning to you people of the internet, and welcome to the show. If you're only just joining me, on my last episode I reviewed the first half of one of the most iconic Fourth Doctor stories, Genesis of the Daleks. If you haven't seen the first part of that review, I strongly urge you to do that now. Otherwise, let's get straight back into the story. It's really in the second half where shit really starts to go down. The Doctor awakes in the Thal command room as they watch as the Khalid city is attacked. The attack suggested by Davros is working and the rocket will soon be launched. We start to get this feeling of dread, suspense and fear as the Doctor watches on helplessly and is stopped from preventing the rocket from being launched. Also, who was the smart guy who put that switch there? You do realise that the Doctor could very well have destroyed that missile, right? Stupid. Absolutely stupid. It seems this war is over, but Davros's plan has only just begun. With the Khalids destroyed and his experiments unhindered, he orders the Daleks to begin with the destruction of the Thals, but not before exacting his revenge on Ronson. In this scene alone, Davros shows how far gone he is now. He has no care for the lives of the Khalids he was working for. Only for the sake of him and the legacy across the universe does he work now. It seems all is well as the Doctor prepares to go on alone when the Thals find a rather deadly surprise.
Exterminate! Exterminate!
Escaping with a Thal soldier named Betan, he begins a journey back towards the bunker, discovering Harry and Sarah are alive. Woohoo! Then again, nothing unexpected. However, at the bunker, there are rumblings among the elite about the Daleks. The removal of emotions is causing a stir among Garman and Carvel. They know it is not right. I like this development, yet another similarity with the Nazis. There were some who knew that he was a disaster for their future and that he needed removal. They still had a conscience, and it makes the characters a lot more human and complex. And it seems that Nyder is even concerned.
But he has become a megalomaniac. He's ready to sacrifice everything and everyone, including us.
Why is it that he seems so sinister even when it seems he's turning on Davros? But when Garman meets again with Nyder and gives him the names of fellow anti-Davros elite...
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Don't you just love how Nyder snaps back into robot mode? I absolutely love that. Davros and Nyder then spot the Doctor and his companions, and so begins the interrogation. After finding out about the Doctor's mission, he forces the Doctor to give him the information for every Dalek defeat, in order to program the Daleks and avert them. To which he concedes. A tape is made, the companions are chucked in a cell while Davros and the Doctor spar. I do like this kind of relationship. You don't usually see a Doctor Who villain bartering with the Doctor. In most cases they just want to kill him. It makes him stand out more as the cold and calculating villain that he is. When Davros goes off the deep end, the Doctor stands on the verge of killing him.
I mean it, Davros. Next time I press that switch, it stays pressed. Now give the order.
And the Doctor claims he never would. But in all seriousness, I don't have a problem with the Doctor killing. Genocide, however, is another thing entirely, but I'll get to that in a second. As for the situations in the serial, I do think their use ranges from decent to pretty damn good. I definitely put the tape at the best part, as it does reinforce and influence the whole aim of the mission. The rocket made for decent development, but I don't feel was as powerful. But anyway, Sarah and Harry meet with Garman in the cell, and ends up talking about the hope for revolution against Davros. Carvel manages to help Garman escape and free the Doctor as he's taken by Nyder. While Davros appears to have successfully routed the Thals, Garman's supporters have managed to start a fight back, ultimately leading Davros to agree to negotiate with Garmin. But we see he is far from beaten.
They talk of democracy, freedom, fairness. Those are the creeds of cowards. The ones who will listen to 1,000 viewpoints and try to satisfy them all. Achievement comes through absolute power. And power through strength. They have lost.
A megalomaniac he may be, but he's a tactful one. The Doctor, meanwhile, has gone to the incubator to destroy the Daleks. As he sets up the explosives... Seriously, that looks like bits of chicken wrapped around his neck. What was the thought behind that? But once they're dealt with, we come to the most iconic scene of Tom Baker. He is faced with the opportunity to destroy the Daleks once and for all. But one question.
Have I that right?
To destroy the Daleks, you can't doubt it.
But I do. You see, some things could be better with the Daleks. Many future worlds will become allies just because of their fear of the Daleks.
It's a good question, and just the thoughts of the ramifications throughout time and space rush through. It's done so brilliantly well. Will he become just like the Daleks, or will he find another way? The Doctor is called away as a debate between Davros and Garmin begins to decide the fate of the Daleks. Garmin advocates to ensure the Daleks do have a conscience and emotion, while Davros offers his self-destruct to destroy the production of the Daleks. Nothing full of massive tension, but still an interesting situation. There's also some movement to seal the bunker from a small band of Thousand Mutos, led by Batan and Severin. Once ready, Severin begs to go in to save the trio, though they will have to go through and destroy the entrance if the Daleks start to come. As Nyder leaves, the trio follow in pursuit and go to Davros's office, where the tape is destroyed. A bit anticlimactic, to be honest. Nyder escapes, trapping the trio as Davros's ultimate plan succeeds. Garmin and the others are slaughtered by the returning Daleks in true 70s fashion. Davros has succeeded. Severin frees the trio as the Doctor goes back to the incubator room. A Dalek goes after him, but ultimately ends up aiding the Doctor in blowing it up. Following a close escape and the sealing, the Daleks turn on Davros. Self-control, baby.
You will obey me! We obey no one! We are the superior beings! Exterminate!
Beautiful. Sure, this is kind of an analogy for Hitler. Rises to ultimate power, officers try and fail to depose him, ultimately destroyed for his very creation. It does work well, though. With the time ring, the Doctor explains his reasons for not committing the earlier genocide.
No, not really. You see, I know that although the Daleks will create havoc and destruction for millions of years, I know also that out of their evil must come something good.
But with that, the review is over. Genesis of the Daleks was a great piece of storytelling from the classic era of Doctor Who. Sure, not everything was perfect, but the development of the story in the second half was done well, the performances were fantastic, and the high stakes of the story had you gripped right to the very end. I have no qualms with giving the story a 9 out of 10. Suffice to say, this episode is still a great one. Sure, not everything has aged well, and maybe not everything is a masterpiece, but it's still a really good episode. The story has aged well, the performances have aged really well, and it can definitely rank as one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever made. But what do you guys think of the episode? Do you think it's fantastic, or do you think it's a bit overrated? Well, when I go into Doctor Who next time, I'm going back to the Tennant era, to a particular favourite time of the Tennant era for me, actually. But until that time, guys, goodbye. Haidara.